Well, we are about halfway through our Hangout series on day one here of Innovation for the Nation. Again, the Google Enterprise Government team welcomes all of you to the Hangout series. I'm James Hilliard, glad to be here moderating these conversations. Again, halfway through, we've had some great conversations so far, and we're going to continue on turning to some Google employees, Googlers, with us for this session. I've been letting folks know during the sessions what we're going to be doing and how we're doing it. This session, a little bit of a slide presentation, then we'll dive into a demonstration, and then again your questions. Use the hashtag IFTN13 over on Twitter, and also if you're in the networking lounge, you can look for the QA message board. That's where you can submit questions as well. So what are we going to do for the next 25 minutes or so here? I think many of you would agree that we are all always looking kind of for an ace in our back pocket, especially if that ace can help us with something. Here we're talking about the decision-making process. And what we want to do in this Hangout is really answer the question, what can Google's geospatial products do to enhance your government services, your decision-making process? Two gentlemen join us. Scott Bridges is going to kick things off, geospatial specialist with Google state and local government team. And then Dave McCluskey is also on board with us for this Hangout, geospatial sales engineer, part of Google Enterprise. Dave's going to be doing our demo for us in a little while. Scott, as I turn things over to you, I used the word ACE, and that stands for something in your lingo, so I want you to define that for us as our jumping off point.
Sure. Thanks a bunch, James. Appreciate the introduction. And I want to thank everyone else out there for being with us today. If there's one overarching theme and one message I could have everyone take away today, it's simply that, James. It's ACE. When asked what can Google's geospatial products do for you, think ACE. And that quite simply stands for aggregate, collaborate, and enable. Aggregate. Our technology allows you to bring in and access data from all aspects of your business. We help you store that data in a single, easily accessible repository, or, as is most often the case, our technology can help you and your organization by allowing you to easily understand the relationships and the relevance of data housed throughout your various business systems. We do this by interacting with those business systems regardless of the source. Our technology doesn't require you to integrate in that old-fashioned way involving complex and expensive projects. You can use the same technology that powers Google Search and Google Maps, tools that everyone's familiar with, and use them inside your organization and help bring all of that valuable data together, visualize it, and use it in ways you never could before. By doing this, you make it easy for your users to more efficiently collaborate and collaborate around that data and analyze it, see it, and use it in ways that were never really possible before. So by presenting the right information to the right people at the right time in succinct and easy to interpret ways, you enable your workforce to make quicker, better, more informed decisions that help your organization improve efficiencies, save time, save money, and perhaps even save lives. But for many organizations, that's a big and a huge problem. And moving on, you know, at Google, we certainly understand big challenges, and overcoming big challenges is what Google has been doing really since we were founded. To overcome our challenges, our engineers and programmers have had to design and deploy infrastructure and applications on a massive scale. Additionally, we've also amassed and we've built one of the largest, most accurate, most detailed geospatial models of the Earth that's available to the public today. The mission of the enterprise team here at Google, who Dave and I work for, is to really help our customers work the way they live. And we do that by enhancing Google's consumer products with the features and controls that your organizations demand. And now we offer these capabilities, our infrastructure, our search, and our enterprise applications, as well as our geospatial tools to businesses and governmental organizations worldwide. So with Google's Maps for Business and our other enterprise products, we want to enable your employees to work better together from anywhere, using any device, to meet their day-to-day business challenges. Next. The most valuable benefit I think Google can provide your organization or any organization is to help remove the barriers that have kept your data in silos for far too long. These silos have prevented you from fully leveraging the value of your data, and it's limited the proper analysis and visualization that help you to really unlock and reveal the the powerful information that's trapped within those siloed systems. So by aggregating with Google's search technology and complementing it with Google Maps, our customers are realizing significant benefits. And those benefits can be measured in real ROI, return on your investment, increases in customer satisfaction, and worker safety. But the customers, our customers, and the citizens that they serve have really benefited in even more profound ways. And the next, here's an example of a customer that's done just that. They've created a powerful application to help provide a common operating picture during crisis events and emergencies. So by using Google's technology that allows for the aggregation of large amounts of imagery data, GIS data, and other related information, Virtual Alabama is a system that provides an affordable, scalable, maintainable platform that lets the folks using the system visualize assets, infrastructure, and imagery from throughout the state. This common operating picture really allows law enforcement and first responders from all levels of government and allows them to collaborate more effectively. And what that does is helps and really enables them to have more impactful responses and really enhances officer and public safety. This concept and this application have proven to be so popular that Virtual Alabama now serves more than 22,000 customers throughout the state. It's really having a real positive and profound impact on the citizens of Alabama. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about our partners. And our customers benefit really greatly by working with our world-class partners, and we're very proud of them. One partner, Predpol, provide targeted and real-time crime prediction to law enforcement agencies. As we all know, law enforcement organizations aren't getting more money to hire new staff and acquire new equipment, so they have to be able to use the resources that they have better. And they can do this by making more intelligent decisions about how to deploy that equipment and that personnel that they do have. So Predpol's ability to provide that real-time analysis and prediction capabilities, coupled with Google Maps ability to easily visualize this information and make it available to any officer, anywhere, using any type of device, is immensely, immensely powerful. The next example we have here is from a partner of ours, Edge 360. And Edge 360 leverage our technology coupled with their own unique ability to integrate the many types of video cameras in use today and do that into a single environment that allows police departments and school districts to monitor and respond more effectively to some of the unfortunate events that are happening within our schools today. So this powerful tool allows both police and obviously school officials to actually see what's going on within a particular school when an alert is activated. Those officials can select the camera feeds they want to view and then support that live camera feed with geospatial information to create a real powerful situational awareness platform that helps law enforcement to better respond to these critical life-threatening events. And moving on, for many of our customers, and I know for many of you out there today, it's really understanding about what's happening now, and how can I, as a GIS professional or an IT professional, bring all of my geospatial data together with my pertinent business data, and at the same time get a better understanding of where my people are, where my assets are, and where my clients are, and what are the relationships and the connections that I need to understand so I can serve them better. You don't just need a visualization tool, but you need a tool that allows you to perform intuitive queries and analysis to give you the answers that you desire when you need them. You need a platform that allows you to communicate with your field-based workers and do that in an easy and cost-effective way. Well, with Google's geospatial technology and our mobile capabilities, which we'll be showing a little bit later, you can do just that. Next. One of the newest and I think most exciting capabilities we're now offering to our enterprise customers is that ability to simply and easily communicate and manage your field-based workers. As more and more organizations go virtual, the need to be able to quickly, efficiently communicate and to guide those field-based workers are really going to be a must. So with Google Coordinate, you can now monitor, communicate, pass work tasks, monitor that work with your field-based personnel. And do that with tools that really require the end user to have nothing more than a smartphone. Of course, there's an administrator component to this this application that allows for the centralized monitoring, managing, and organization of this work activity. But because it leverages Google's existing infrastructure and our geospatial applications, it can be deployed very easily and very quickly and get you up and running really in a matter of hours and not days. Next. But really, at the end of the day, one of the most important services you can provide to your citizens is really to empower them, allow them to contribute and become more active in their community. And technology can help us do that, as illustrated by this application that allows citizens to access the internet, select an event or a crime location is displayed on the map, and if they have information about that incident, allow them to input that and provide that information directly to law enforcement and do it in an anonymous, in a very safe way. Also illustrated is, see something, send something, which provides that same capability, but yet doing it from a smartphone. Next. Empowering citizens really doesn't have to always be a life or death type of issue as well. By simply making information more accessible and easy to understand, you're improving and empowering the lives of your citizens in innumerable ways. Communities are using our search and geospatial capabilities to make access to information. It could be as mundane as deed or land records, but make it easier and more user-friendly. It's as easy as inputting a simple Google search, right? Perhaps a name or an address. Get the related records and information that you've requested, and then have the ability to generate a map of that property if you want to get some geospatial or some geographic understanding of it. So to us, it's all about work the way you live. It really is that easy, and it really can be that easy for your organization as well. So so kind of moving on to further illustrate some of the points that I've been making here in my discussion, I want to ask Demo Dave McCluskey, our application specialist, to spend a little time going over an example or two of how our technology is being used and can be used currently, in hopes that it will inspire you with ways that you can use Google's technology to help your organization. So Demo Dave, off to you.
Thanks a lot, Scott. So my name is Dave McCluskey. I'm a geospatial sales engineer here with Google. I'm going to show you some examples of how you can use the power of Google Maps to help empower your organization and to help make better decisions. The example I'm going to show for you here today is our public health demonstration. It demonstrates how you can use the power of Google Maps for a city to help manage a public health crisis, such as a disease outbreak or an epidemic. And it uses a variety of Google Maps enterprise products that I'll talk to you about as I walk through. So the first thing to notice here is you see the Google Maps display that you are probably well familiar with, but it's integrated here into this custom application. In this case, would be an internal-facing application that would be access controlled for a city or an organization. So that's leveraging the power of the Google Maps API, which allows you to embed a map into your own custom applications. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a search query here with this custom interface that I've built. To query my back-end system, in this case Google Maps Engine, which is a cloud-based platform for storing and managing your data securely. And I'm going to do a query to find cases of disease outbreaks and vaccine distribution points for my make-believe or made-up epidemic here in New York. So I did a query. I typed in an address. And I selected a range of 5 miles, and I brought in that information onto my map. So these little male and female icons here on the map represent my made-up epidemic outbreak incidents. And these red, yellow, and blue icons represent the vaccine distribution points, and the color is representing how many vaccines remain at these locations. So it helps me manage the inventory of these vaccines in real time. And I can take advantage of some of the standard Google Maps features here. So this is the map view. I can turn on the satellite imagery view if I want to see satellite imagery instead of the map view. And I can zoom in on my map, and if I zoom in all the way, it will even give me the high resolution aerial photography that you're used to seeing. The other thing that's available is Street View imagery. So if I wanted to select one of these vaccine distribution points, and see some street view imagery of what that location looks like. I can bring that right into my application here, and that helps me with my planning and situational awareness. Okay. So now that I've brought in all of these points of interest here on my map, I can do some interesting analysis. If I want to generate a heat map, for example, of all of the outbreak locations, I can turn on a heat map display. And I can do the same thing for the vaccine distribution points. And then I can do a little bit of analysis. So say if I want to find areas of my population that are being underserviced by these vaccine distribution points, I could do some analysis that says, show me where these outbreak locations are taking place, but there are no vaccines within, say, 1.5 miles. I can do that analysis, and I can find those locations on the map to help me make better decisions. The other thing I can do is bring in other sources of information, such as if I wanted to see hospital locations, I could turn on a layer of hospital locations. I can also bring in a layer showing my real-time positions of, say, ambulances or resupply vehicles by bringing in these real-time feeds. And finally, I can turn on other sources of information such as demographics. So say if I wanted to help figure out where should I open up a new vaccine distribution site, I could look at the areas that are being underserviced and also combine it with information like population density to help me make a better informed decision. So what I showed you here today is leveraging the Google Maps API that allows you to embed a custom map in your application. It's using the Maps engine, which is our cloud-based platform for data storage. And as part of that, you get a lot of standard features that come with Google Maps, like the map, satellite, street view imagery, and other services such as the ability to bring directions into your application or geocode addresses. So the next thing I want to show you is a out-of-the-box application that we have called Google Maps Coordinate. Now what Google Maps Coordinate is, this is an application that you can download for your iPhone or for your Android device. You can get it today out of the app stores. And you can sign up for a free trial online for Google Maps Coordinate. And what this is a workforce management solution. It lets you visualize your workforce in real time, view their locations on a map, create jobs, assign them to workers, and help optimize your workforce in the field. So here I'm viewing the coordinate dispatcher view. I can see some members of my team who are currently logged into the service here on the left, including myself. And you can see that I'm here in the Google Boston office. And I can zoom in and view my location on a map. Now it's obtaining my location through a mobile app, which I'm running here on my phone. So this is the Google Coordinate app. So what I can do is I can create jobs, I can assign them to my workers, and as the workers carry out their jobs throughout the day, they can check in, they can mark the job as completed, and they can add notes about the job in real time. And one interesting thing about this is in addition to managing your workforce, you can also bring in those same layers of data that are powering your other applications into this system as well. So if I go down to the New York area and zoom in here on the map, these icons here represent the same information that I was just showing you in the public health demonstration. So we have the icons representing the vaccine distribution points, the hospitals, the outbreaks, and I can see if I had any workers here in the New York area, I could help manage them in real time as they help manage this crisis. So this is an example of how you can bring multiple sources of information from different systems into this common operating picture to help manage workforce in real time and help better make decisions and manage crises. All right, so that's what I'm going to show you today, and I will turn it back over to James.
Thanks, guys. We do have a lot of questions here. Folks, we've got about 10 more minutes. If you do have questions, again, either over in the networking lounge, find the Q&A area there on the message board, or the hashtag on Twitter, IFTN13. Talk to us a little bit. Maybe I'll start over here, Dave, with you. forest fires, things like that. Is there any application there to track something that might be as fast moving as that, to get an idea of maybe kind of the direction that a forest fire might be traveling, where emergency responders then could be moving and put in position to get ahead of a fire or something like that, as opposed to their best guess?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a application that we're seeing working today, actually. Um, One of the things that you can do with the Google Maps platform is bring in data from a variety of sources, and I think a good example is during the Hurricane Sandy event that took place last year. We put up a crisis map which brought in data from many different sources, and that included things like real-time weather updates, real-time crowdsourced information about say where gas was available, where the shelters were, and as well as bringing in imagery that showed damage, right? So one of the things that our platform has a lot of capability of is bringing in multiple sources of information. So if that information can be obtained, there's going to be a way for us to put it on a map, visualize it in real time, and make better decisions around it.
Before I saw the question come in about fires, Scott, I was thinking and going back to showing that map of Los Angeles and the crime, imagining that some police organization, if they saw that certain liquor stores were being robbed, or banks or something like that, if the information was being put in real time,
Yeah.
officers, investigators might be able to say, you know what, it's more likely that something might happen in this neighborhood. They could stake something out, they could prepare for it, they could alert banks to be on the lookout, things like that. Is this enabling communication between governments and then private businesses in that type of scenario?
Yeah, sure. And just a couple of points, I guess, to that. Number one, the technology we provide and what we're helping our customers do really be proactive, right, instead of simply reactive. It's one thing to understand what has happened in the past. It's another thing to be able to do some analysis and really, as our partner Predpol is doing, right, make smarter business decisions and smarter decisions that impact public safety. So really helping governmental organizations be proactive. And I think part of that, of being proactive, is really this whole notion now around being able to, there's a lot of interest in crowdsourcing and how can we use information generated by the public. And I think one of my last examples, right, to provide us information in real time or near real time to help us understand what's actually happening now. And then that could be two-way communication, right, as well as being able to send SMS, text messages and other types of messages to individuals in a particular area, right? Certain types of businesses, to say, hey, there's been a lot of activity, banks, whatever, right? There's been a lot of activity around your particular type of store. Be on the lookout. Here's maybe a description of the suspects, that kind of thing. So I certainly think there's a huge potential, and I think a lot of organizations are starting to see the potential of using this technology to really be proactive in whatever it is that they provide as a service to their citizens.
Well, I think Brandon, who's watching us today, is one of those. He'd love to see that ability public, be able to submit those types of photos. Maybe that's a layer that could be integrated into some of these apps so that, again, in real time, or just from that perspective, again, he's thinking emergency situations where in real time that can be integrated as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the newest capabilities of our tool set now is to be able to take photos in the field, add some annotation, and then be able to upload that back into the system. That's a real powerful capability. And Brandon, you're dead on.
I'm seeing a couple questions. Kind of the idea here, guys. Dave, maybe you can answer this for us. You showed the coordinates app. Is there something that some of our government teams here can be searching on throughout the App Store, or some of these gathered in the App Store somewhere, where they can see what is already there available for them to trial out as they're thinking of what they might want to have?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you do a search for Google coordinate, if you do a Google search, the first thing you want to do is sign up for the free online trial, which we provide for a workforce of 10 members. So you can try it out today. And then through the Google Play Store or through the iTunes Store, if you search for Google Coordinate in those stores, you can download the mobile app and get running right away with a little pilot for your team.
All right. Dan is on board with us. Let me ask you guys this question. Wants to know, do you provide tools to track social media on the Common Operating Picture maps? Is that something that is available now for folks?
I'll say as part of the Google tool set, we do not, but we have partners that that do work with us to do just that, right? To understand what's the chatter out there and to kind of make sense of it, and then if possible, put it into some kind of geospatial context. So the short answer is we have partners that do that, and would love to be able to share that information with them. With who was it that asked that question? We can hopefully get back with them with some information about that.
Yeah, and Dan did, and again, we're tracking all these on Twitter, so we can pull that information and share that. Marty has been tweeting a lot today. He's been submitting questions, sharing ideas. I believe he works in some type of parole environment. I also think with youth, but he was kind of thinking out loud on Twitter. Map coordinate, that could be used something towards targeted probation type services. Is that something that you guys have seen folks doing, exploring?
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, we have the U.S. Marshal Service. A couple of their larger offices are using Google Coordinate to do just that to their agents and their officers in the field. You know, all of these types of organizations are going virtual. Being able to understand where they are, past work information, and from obviously a safety perspective, it's important to understand them. But again, you know, we do have some customers in probation and parole that are doing that and working with us today. So they're enabling you know, their field force with a host of Google applications, as well as incorporating our geospatial technology so that they can understand where they are, help optimize, you know, the visits that they need to do that day. This whole notion around doing more with less and really optimizing the workforce, and then providing an additional layer of safety.
Let me define again ACE, because what we were trying to do in this hangout was kind of answer that question. What can some of Google's geospatial products do to enhance, again, your decision making? And as Scott laid out for us in the beginning, ACE, aggregate that information, let teams then collaborate on that information, ultimately enable that quick decision making. So really appreciate Dave and Scott, you guys being on board here. We're going to continue this conversation in two ways. One, these guys are going to jump on one of our scheduled chats in the networking resource area of the virtual event. So I encourage you to head on over there for more. Also, one of their colleagues, Jordan, is going to be joining us a bit later on, about 30 minutes from now. And we're going to kind of go into the future, talk about kind of a beta program tied to some of the ideas that Scott and Dave have shared with us. So I encourage you to join us back here in just about a half hour as Jordan comes on board and we talk about that. But in the meantime, meet these guys in the chat room. Continue to ask your questions there. Check out the Google booth as well within the virtual environment. Lots of other white papers, case studies that you can have access to. So I encourage you to do that. And again, we'll convene here for our next hangout in about 30 minutes.
Thanks, James.